I'm gonna make this fast. I was supposed to come on here earlier and do our regular lesson today, but Poca had a lot going on today. And everything is meant to go the way it's supposed to go. So I gotta get y'all this message, and then I'm going to get my ass up and cook something, because I should have been did it. So I'm gonna give a couple more minutes, or seconds rather, for people to come in, and then we're gonna get into this message real fast, and I'm gonna let y'all have the rest of y'all night. Tomorrow we'll be doing our reading for the week. So yeah, tune in for that. I didn't see Cinders yet. I might go see it sometime this week. So when I do, I will give you updates. I heard it was really good. So yeah, that's definitely on my list. Usually I don't go to the movies for certain stuff. I'll just wait for it to come out. But based on the reviews that it's been getting, I might have to go to the movies for that one. So yeah, I'll give updates when I go, or after I go, rather. All right, so real quick, again, I had a super busy day today. There was a lot going on. However, at a certain part of my day earlier, I went to this vintage shop, right, in Baltimore. And this particular location was like this very, well, the outside of it was like this old school building, right? I mean, like an old high school. Like it looked like one of those abandoned schools that is just like in the middle of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting in the cut. Look at that 777 as I'm talking. Okay, thank you, Spirit. It looked like one of those abandoned schools that's just like sitting around, like literally in the middle of nowhere that nobody is really thinking about. And from the outside, you know, I'm like, how is this, you know, a place that's housing a vintage shop? You know, this particular person who owns a vintage shop, this is her like personal location, or her private location, her special location, but she has a storefront somewhere else. So I'm like, how is this type of, you know, shop, and I mean like luxury vintage pieces, like if you like fashion like me, chef's kiss, right? And from the outside, I'm like, this can't be where her studio is. Like, there's just no way that her studio is inside this building. So we go into this building, and I mean, they have, I don't know if y'all know what you know, drywall and the so what some of y'all do, drywall. They got drywall on the walls, and then they have like those wood slabs kind of like bordering up the walls. It does not look like the luxury that it holds, right? It does not look like the type of place that where I'm going should be located. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't look like that. So we walking through, and it's like a maze, right? It's all these different turns and stuff, and we get on the elevator, go up, and finally we get to where her location is, and it's gorgeous, right? You walk in, and it's so simple, but it's so like just beautiful, right? Just these nice high windows and a whole lot of sunlight. And I'm big on a place with sunlight, you know what I'm saying? I'm sold. If you got a place with some good sunlight in it, baby, I am sold already, right? But the lighting is amazing. The way that she set it up is amazing. She got these different racks in different places. She got like a small little dressing room. She has these big mirrors and, you know, all of these amazing pieces, right? And as I was in there, you know, kind of browsing around and looking around at different pieces, Spirit kept saying, you never know what is on the inside of something, right? You never know what's on the inside. You never know what's on the inside. And that just kept like replaying in my head, right? You never know what's on the inside. And I'm sitting there, and when I got in the car, I'm doing like a quick like little meditation. It wasn't even a purposeful meditation. It's one of those meditations where you kind of just staring off in space, right? Like you don't even realize that you're in a meditative state. You don't even realize that you are tuning into something until you come out of it, right? And you like, oh shit, I kind of got lost in that thought, or I got lost in that space or whatever. And the message that I'm supposed to give to you guys is that and we talked about big things coming in, right? And we did a live on this, what was it? Friday, I believe. Friday I came on here, or Thursday, one of those days. And we talked about how hard it's been. We talked about, how a lot of people have been going through a lot in the month of April, and how it hasn't necessarily looked the way that we thought that it was going to look. It hasn't necessarily gone the way that we thought it was going to go. And a lot of us have been a little, feeling the emotions of that, right? Feeling a little discouraged because of that, right? But what's coming in is not going to be packaged in the way that you think. And I feel like I've talked about this before. It is not going to be packaged in the way that you think. And the thing about it is, it's going to be hidden so well that other people can't even see it. It's going to be something that other people have overlooked because they thought that it didn't hold anything. They didn't think that it was important. Some of y'all are people that have been overlooked because people thought that you didn't really hold anything. They didn't think that you was important. They didn't think that you had necessarily anything to offer, right? So a lot of people looked over you. A lot of people looked over this particular opportunity. And they kind of just moved past it. Thank you so much for the gift. Not knowing what was on the inside. Not knowing what could come of it, right? And that's what this gift, this opportunity, thank you so much for the gifts. That's what this is going to look like. It's wrapped. It's almost like when you get a gift wrapped in like brown paper. Like, you ever seen somebody wrap a Christmas gift in just like the blandest brown paper? Or it's almost like somebody just handing you a brown paper bag. It's like on the outside, it's so unappealing. It's not aesthetically pleasing. It's not anything that looks attractive. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing that's jumping out at you. It's not anything that is, all that amazing looking. It looks very basic on the outside. It looks very minimalistic on the outside. But once it gets into your hands, once it reaches you, once this opportunity comes across your desk, all of a sudden it's going to turn to something else. Or its true nature will be revealed at that point. It's like this thing has to be, it has to be hidden in plain sight. That's what Spirit is saying. Like, what's coming in has to be hidden in plain sight. Yeah. It's not supposed to be easily detectable. It's not supposed to be easily achieved. It's not supposed to be anything that jumps out at somebody all sparkly and shiny and, like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's not supposed to look like that at all. The way that I'm getting it is, y'all know what a geode is, right? A geode crystal on the outside can look like a regular ass rock. It can just look like just the most basic pale gray or, dusty brown looking rock, right? Thank you for the gift. It can just look so super insignificant. But when you cut it open, It has the most beautiful patterns, colors, crystals within it, and they are some of the most powerful crystals, right? But you never know what it is, how it looks, until you get all the way in it, right? Until you crack it open. And that's what this looks like. It's showing up in a way, and this may not even make sense right now, but when it happens, it's going to make a lot of sense. It's showing up in a way that is so minimalistic, it don't look like it's all that. The opportunity don't look like it's all of that. Or the person who brings the opportunity don't look like it's all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing that some of you guys may be approached by somebody that looks basic. The opportunity may come from a person that just looks like an everyday, anything type of person. They don't look significant. They don't look like a millionaire or a CEO or, somebody that's connected to what they're actually connected to. You know what I'm saying? They don't look like the opportunity that they're bringing. They don't look like the things that they have at their disposal. You know what I'm saying? They don't look like they're carrying what they're carrying. And this is why Spirit has a lot of y'all, and has had a lot of y'all over the last couple of weeks to the last couple of months since January, getting out of your comfort zone when it comes to strangers. Everything happens for a reason, and all of this ties together. Trust me. This is why y'all have been getting pushed out your comfort zone to interact more with strangers, with people that you do not know, with people who don't look a certain type of way and aren't as aesthetically, ambiguous as others, or, people who are more quiet, more low-key, more laid back, or, even going to random places. A lot of y'all have been being pushed to be in more random environments, like places that you don't even think about. Like getting invited to places that's like hole in a wall type of thing, or, you know what I'm saying, just being pushed to be in places that you wouldn't typically go. Being forced to do things. When I say be forced, I'm talking about your intuition is guiding you towards that thing, right? But being intuitively guided to do things that you normally wouldn't do. And I'm talking about things completely just like outside of your peripheral vision, like things that you just wouldn't even think about typically. Going to places that you wouldn't even think about typically. You know what I'm saying? They got you at art museums, or, last week, I want to say last Wednesday, I'm randomly at this speakeasy type event. I have no idea. Okay, never heard of it. Got invited to this random ass speakeasy event on a random ass Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? And it was an amazing event, right? Got to meet the owner of the building and chatted up with him, and I had a lot of ideas about things that could possibly be done in the space. It was random. I would have never went had I heard about it by myself. Like if I would have seen the flyer for that event, I wouldn't have went. They could have posted it on social media and I would have scrolled right past it. That's just me. Some shit, I be in my own little world. I don't even be thinking about it. It don't even be a thought, right? But I ended up there. Yesterday, I went to a 420 event. Would have never went to this event. Ended up there. Had an amazing time. Made some connections. So, there's always moments in our journey, on our journey, where we are pushed out of our comfort zone. And a lot of times when you're in the midst of it, when it's actually happening, you're thinking like, damn, did I do something wrong? Damn, am I making the wrong move? Is this something that I should be doing? There's a lot of questions that go on in your head. Or feelings, you know what I'm saying? Feeling like I'm never going to get what I want, or feeling like you're further from what it is that you want, right? It's a lot of different things that you feel, a lot of different perspectives that you have in those moments. And it's usually not until you get out of it and you conquer it and you accomplish whatever you're supposed to accomplish that you understand, like, oh, this shit had purpose. You know what I'm saying? I was supposed to be pushed in this way. And when you're being pushed, it don't always feel like it. Sometimes it feels like, you know, life is on your ass. Sometimes it feels like things are complicated for no reason. Sometimes it feels like not knowing what to do, not knowing what decisions to make next, you know, feeling like your hands are tied or feeling isolated or just feeling confused, period, right? But at the end of it all, there is a purpose for all of it. You know what I'm saying? It's all happening to push you to a certain place, to get you to a certain environment, to get you on a certain path of alignment, right? And we talk about, you know, April, May, and June being the seed planting seasons, right? Go back on YouTube and look at the live we did on mastering the seasons, okay? That's basically Aries season, Taurus season, Gemini season, right? Those are the seasons to plant your seeds. Figure out what you want to do. Figure out where you want to go. Figure out, you know what I'm saying, how you want things to look. But a lot of people also don't understand that this is the time to go with the flow. Because some of the seeds that you need to plant, you don't have them. Somebody else has them. And you got to go get them from that person. Some of the seeds that you need to plant, you don't even know you need them. The opportunity hasn't happened yet when you get that piece of information, or you meet that specific person, or you get that specific opportunity, or you learn about that specific thing. This is why we have to go with the flow. This is why we allow ourselves to be divinely and intuitively led, because you don't know what you need at all times of your journey. And you don't know what's going to pop up that's going to show you a different perspective or open your eyes to a different opportunity. Right? So, all of that to say, don't be closed-minded for the rest of these 2 seasons, right? We are officially in Taurus season. Shout out to all the Taurus. Happy solar return in advance, and happy solar return to the Taurus, right? We're officially in Taurus season. And from Taurus season to Gemini season, there's going to be a lot going on. In the most positive way, though. If you can see it from that perspective. Because it may not always look positive based on what you used to. You know what I'm saying? Luxury don't always look appealing to people who are not used to luxury. It's like seeing somebody eat a delicacy, right, at a high-end restaurant. You probably looking at that shit like, ugh, that look nasty as hell. You eating fish eggs. You know what I'm saying? You eating snail. You eating this. You eating that. It don't look luxurious because you're not used to that shit. You used to pork and beans and peanut butter and jelly. You used to every single type of version of Alfredo and meatloaf and sloppy joes. So you get to this high-end space and you're like, what the hell is that? That shit looks nasty. Right? Luxury doesn't always look appealing. It's not always what you expect it to be. But when you acquire the taste, all of a sudden you trying to put other people on. When you allow yourself to put your guard down a little bit and embrace the opportunity, now all of a sudden you trying to teach other people something. You trying to wake up somebody else. So, this is going to be one of those things where you're going to have to adjust to living the lifestyle that you want. And I feel like a lot of y'all don't really fully comprehend that you are not ready all the way. And when I say ready, I don't mean like you aren't ready as a person. What I mean is you're not as ready as you think you are to be living this luxurious lifestyle. And there's not a lot that you can do sometimes to prepare for what's coming other than experience it. You know what I'm saying? People can give you advice, or you can try to master certain things and do all the work that you can. And it doesn't mean that you will still be ready for everything that happens, right? A lot of stuff you just have to learn in the moment. A lot of stuff you get ready as you're going through it. You master it as you are experiencing it. And that's what this is going to look like for a lot of y'all. You're going to be very uncomfortable in this new luxurious space. And a lot of it is because you have to unlearn everything that you thought you knew about what luxury is. This is why for a lot of you guys as well, Spirit has been showing you different versions of luxury. Have you been paying attention? You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all thought it was clothes. A lot of y'all thought it was cars. A lot of y'all thought it was houses and you know, having a certain amount of money and all of these different things. And Spirit is like, no, it's this, it's that. And it's been very subtle. So it's almost like that if you know type of thing. Like if you're paying attention, you're paying attention. If you peeped it, you peeped it. But Spirit has been trying to show you guys what wealth truly is outside of society's expectations and society's definition of wealth or abundance or, you know, prosperity. It's all changing. So this week, and I made a post on Facebook about it, but this week, don't be in your head. Don't overthink. Don't ask 1,000 million kajillion questions before you act. If you feel intuitively guided to move, move. If you feel intuitively guided to talk to that person, talk to that person. To go to that place, then go to that place. To start that thing, start it. To research that thing, research it. Whatever you feel within your intuition, 818, as I'm saying this. Whatever you feel within your intuition, do it. And don't try to do it. Just fucking do it. Don't talk about doing it. Don't complain about how hard it might possibly be. Just go for it. I want you to erase the word try from your vocabulary this week. We're not trying to do shit. You either doing it or you're not. You either going for it or you're not. You either stepping up and making it happen or you're not. It's as simple as that. We're not trying nothing. Erase all that trash shit out your vocabulary this week. And also, don't worry and don't feed into people's opinions this week as well. Fuck people's opinions. Don't ask anybody for no advice. Should I do this? And should I do that? And what do you think about if I do this? And what do you think about if I do that? And should I go to this place? And what's your opinion on this? And we don't give a damn. We don't care. This is your week to not give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? This is your week to just do it like Nike. Just go for it. Just make it happen. Just take the opportunity. And know that because we're in Taurus season, everything again that you know about wealth, that you know about beauty, that you know about luxury. Thank you so much for the gifts. Everything that you know about prosperity and all of those abundant things is going to be challenged. It's going to be challenged. It's going to be rewritten. You're going to be forced into a new perspective on those specific things. So understand that. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get anything. That doesn't mean that a challenge is going to be hard. But sometimes it is hard to adjust to living a better life. Because we don't realize how much we're holding on to old shit until we're presented with a new opportunity. Will you self-sabotage? Will you count yourself out? I listened to Kendrick Lamar Count Me Out before I left the house today. And a lot of times, it's not other people counting us out. We count ourselves out. We're presented with an opportunity to go to the next level, to do something, to do the very thing that we want to do. Or we have the option of having the very opportunity that we've always wanted. And we'll sit there and be like, well, I don't think I'm ready enough. I don't think I have all of this. And I don't think I have all of this. And I don't think that I can do this. And I don't think that I can do that. And you count yourself out. Before you can even get started, before you give it a try, before you give it a chance, you already eliminated yourself out of the whole equation. For whatever fucking reason. Because a lot of us want change, we want new until we're at the threshold of it. Because then we realize with change comes the release of the past. That means all the old shit, I have to leave that shit behind. And you think you're ready to do that until you standing at that damn threshold. So you're standing at that door. And Spirit is saying, okay, you got the opportunity to go through the door. Or you can stay where you are. But just know that if you go through the door, all of that shit got to go. You can't bring that into this new space. You can't bring certain people into this new space. You can't bring certain mentalities into this new space. You can't bring procrastination into this new space. You can't bring self-doubt into this new space. There's certain things that you cannot have here. So you can either have everything that you want, or everything that you've desired, or things that maybe you haven't even thought about but are good for you, or you can have the life that you're used to. It's your choice at the end of the day. And a lot of the times it sounds easy in our head because we're currently over our current situation. You know what I'm saying? And your head is like, oh, that's a no-brainer. Of course I want the future. Of course I want the new thing. It sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Sounds great. But when you really get that opportunity, how many of y'all fully walk away from the past to embrace the future? Let's be for real. How easy is it really to say, I'll leave all of this shit behind and embrace all of the new? It's not as easy as it sounds. And sometimes that's the challenge. The challenge is walking away from the past. The challenge is trusting yourself to be okay without those old things. We've been using a lot of those old things as a crutch. You don't need the crutches no more. You're healed. And when I say you're healed, of course, we know that healing is an ongoing process. But there are definitely certain things that you've already healed from. You don't need them damn crutches no more. You don't need to rely on that shit no more. You don't need those certain things to hold your hand no more, or to come to your defense anymore. You don't need those particular bodyguards anymore. You're not under that threat anymore. So are you truly ready to discontinue all of the old things and embrace all of the new? Are you truly ready to accept the terms and conditions of this new journey? Because it all comes with terms and conditions. What if you're doing everything to change, but no matter where you turn, it's the same spirit in a different body? Then that means you haven't changed. You will continuously attract what you are until you become something different. And a lot of times we think that change is just sweeping up the floor. It's like, oh, I swept. Yeah, you swept, but did you mop? You might need to get on all fours and scrub that hoe. You know what I'm saying? Because there's dirt that's caked up. My mother used to say it's caked up. The dirt is caked up in there. So you just hitting the top. You just dusting the top. No, you need to get on all fours and you need to scrub that thing with some hot water and some soap. And you need to just scrub your life away. We don't realize that these things are sometimes cemented in our energy. And you know, cement is not something that you can just, you know, dig up. You got to get that damn jackhammer thing and knock that shit loose. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't check people like I used to. Stop fighting, all that. That, again, that's sweeping. That's sweeping. Mopping and scrubbing means that you're going within yourself to figure out, why was you smoking? Why was I drinking? Why was I turning up on people? What happened in my life to make me want to go in that direction? What happened in my life to make that my way of addressing situations? What happened in my childhood that caused me to be that type of person, to cause me to be violent in that area? That's sweeping. Stop. Not smoking anymore. That's not, I mean, that's good. Not drinking, that's good. But it's deeper than that. Thank you for the gift. It's deeper than that. Because what led you to do that? What led you to rely on those things? Not cussing people the fuck out no more. That's great. But what led you to do it in the first place? That's where you need to go. Shadow work is making me feel depressed. Okay, so this is the thing with shadow work. First of all, make sure y'all go to YouTube and go to the live that I did on shadow work. Because we did a whole live breaking down shadow work. And how to go through the process, how to manage the process, how to navigate shadow work, right? And the step-by-step on, you know, the best ways to start the process, right? But the thing about shadow work is a lot of y'all are overwhelming yourselves, right? Shadow work is nothing, it's not something that you beat yourself up with every day. You don't need to be digging through your traumas every single day, right? Shadow work is more of an umbrella term, meaning self-development. So sometimes shadow work looks like meditation. Sometimes shadow work looks like rest. Sometimes shadow work looks like taking some time to yourself. Sometimes shadow work looks like journaling. Sometimes shadow work looks like talking to yourself or your spirit team about the things that you're feeling, or about your day, or about whatever has been happening. Sometimes shadow work looks like, you know, taking a walk in nature, grounding, putting your feet in the grass. Shadow work doesn't mean that every single moment of the journey you are, you know, berating yourself with traumas from the past and just going crazy. No. Of course you're going to get depressed. Of course you're going to get overwhelmed. Right? So go check out that video on YouTube and it'll explain it more. And then you can go from there. Okay? I keep having near-death experiences every time I visit my hometown. Well, maybe you don't need to be there. You're welcome. I just can't keep motivated. I'm sure you can't talking like that. I just can't keep motivated. I'm sure you can't talking like that. Whatever you say is true. And the thing about it is, y'all be expecting for shit to be easy. Motivation is not easy. Motivating yourself is not an easy thing. Staying motivated is not easy. It's something that you have to force yourself to do. You gotta make yourself do that shit. On the days that you don't feel like it, on the days where you got a headache and you irritated and you upset and you mad and you angry and you sad and you whatever else, it's getting the fuck up anyway. And the thing with motivation is, what y'all don't understand is, to be motivated, you're not focusing on the journey, you're focusing on the goal. The goal motivates you, not the journey. The journey don't motivate nobody. That's why you gotta start falling in love with the journey, because the journey is not fucking motivational. Like, having to heal certain things, having to get out your comfort zone, having to do this and let go of that and gain more of this, and that ain't no part of that motivational. That shit don't sound fun, and a lot of times it's not fucking fun. But where are you trying to go? What is the end goal? That's what motivates you, right? The destination is motivational. The journey is not motivational at all. That shit sucks. But the destination, that shit'll motivate the fuck out of you. If somebody came and told you right now, if you run 8 miles, no water breaks, no breaks period, you got to keep a steady pace, and at the end of them 8 miles, there'll be a briefcase waiting for you with $1.3 million. You mean to tell me you could have been sitting down for the last 2 years, ain't exercised in months, but I bet you get your ass up and run them 8 miles. I bet you when you get tired and you starting to feel like, I don't want to do this shit no more, what did I get myself into? You gonna find something to push you. Why? Because what's waiting for you is valuable. What's waiting for you is motivating you to keep going. A lot of y'all are not even believing or knowing that there's something waiting for you. A lot of y'all don't truly stand behind the idea that there's something greater at the end of this. It sounds good to say, but a lot of y'all don't believe that shit for real. You don't even think that you can have certain things. You still don't think that you're worthy of having certain shit. So of course you're not motivated. And not you specifically, Crystal, but just in general. A lot of y'all don't even believe that you deserve to have certain shit. Of course you ain't motivated to do a damn thing. And you know how I know you don't believe that you can have certain things? Because you still living the same type of life, doing the same type of shit, around the same type of people, with the same type of mentality. If you truly believe that you deserve what was at the end of this journey, you would be moving differently. You will be pushing yourself to move differently, to talk differently, to walk differently. You will be purposefully going down and figuring out what the hell is wrong with me. How did I get here? What situations and experiences and traumas have led me to this place? What work do I need to do? What comfort zones do I need to get out of? What things do I need to release? You will be doing that shit willingly. The fact that half of y'all are avoiding the work lets me know that you truly don't believe that what's at the end and the destination that you could potentially get to, you don't believe that you deserve that shit, or you don't believe that you're going to get there. And that's a you problem. You got to figure that shit out. And a lot of that goes back to childhood trauma. Why don't you feel deserving? Why don't you feel worthy? You got to figure that out. Because can't nobody help you with that. You got to go through all of those different experiences and traumas and figure out where that bullshit ass idea came from. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go into isolation, because we're all in different parts of our journey, right? I did a video or a live on YouTube as well, talking about the different stages of healing and what that looks like, right? So isolation is the stage that a lot of people go into before they move into the stage of acceptance, right? A lot of people isolate first, and then they go into the space of acceptance, accepting the journey, accepting things for what they are, finding peace. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is on different stages of their awakenings or their healing, right? And we go through constant stages of awakening. We go through constant stages of healing. We go through constant stages of elevation, right? So isolation is not necessary for everybody, because for some people, your stage is to be more extroverted rather than like you've been to yourself enough. And a part of healing is not just releasing people, it's also making room for new. It's also accepting the new parts of your life and of your space and the new people that's supposed to be a part of it, so on and so forth. So it's not always, isolation is not always the answer. And sometimes, if your first thought, not saying that this is what you're saying, but just in general, if your first thought is usually to just isolate, that's a childhood trauma. That's a trauma response. Not saying that sometimes you shouldn't, but if you always go straight to isolation, whenever you're being challenged or whenever you're going through something or whenever there's certain things that you're experiencing that you may not have all figured out, that's a trauma response. And you need to dig into that too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hold on one second. You got to dig into that. You got to figure that out. You gotta dig deeper into that. So everybody's not on the same path when it comes to, navigating these awakenings, right? And every time you're being challenged in whatever way, understand that means that there is something up ahead for you. You know what I'm saying? There is something that has your name on it. There is a destination. There is an opportunity. There is a new level. There is elevation, right? Because challenges come first. So the whole goal is to make it through the challenging part. Once you make it through that shit, what you want is on the other side of it. And the beautiful thing about, who we are as a people, right? As gods, the beautiful thing about it is it's always more than what we thought it would be. So not only will you get the things that you need, but it'll come in a way that's more than what you expected. Or it'll happen in a way that's better than you expected. Or, you'll get something that you didn't even expect, that you didn't even consider. You know what I'm saying? How do you handle a person whose purpose is chaos 24/7? They are the boss. A lot of times when you're dealing with other people and you are in a position where you have to deal with that person, meaning it's your boss or you're in a living environment, temporarily or something along those lines, I always say approach it from the mentality of, why does this person or why does the things that this person do bother me? Because again, all of our challenges, no matter where we are and no matter how they show up, are part of our journey, and we're supposed to take something from it and learn from it, right? So I would go with them. I said, like, why is this person bother me? Why does the things that they do irritate me so much? And kind of figure out why. You know what I'm saying? Why it makes you feel the way that it makes you feel. Because once you figure that out, you can start to heal or work on whatever that thing is, and then that person no longer bothers you. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, you don't even really worry about it. It's almost like, it's like a kid. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you ever been, some of y'all are parents, and some of y'all, have just been around children, but you ever just been sitting in a room and the children are just going crazy? I mean, they just running around and yelling and screaming and, you know what I'm saying, just going ape shit, right? I mean, just turning up. And you just blocking their ass out. It's almost like you don't even hear it. It's almost like you in a quiet ass room. You learn how to just block that shit out so good, it don't even faze you. You just like, you can still focus on what you need to focus on. You can still do what you need to do. You're not necessarily worried about what the hell is going on. I mean, as long as everybody is safe, you don't really care. The volume is not really bothering you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just chilling for real. That's how that shit becomes. That's what it looks like when you start to break yourself down and master yourself. It's hard for people to fuck with your energy when you've mastered the thing that triggers you. It's hard for people to trigger you when you master whatever that trauma is that usually leads to you being triggered by that person. It's hard to do. You know what I'm saying? Like baby girl said, I don't be cussing people out no more. Well, it's a reason you don't cuss people out no more. If you used to watch me on my old TikTok, on my main page, I was always cussing the motherfucker out. I did that shit for fun. I loved it, right? And sometimes I did it because I was just fucking irritated. And, you know, my twin just popped out and had to let a motherfucker know what's going on. But that's just what the lives would be. It would be me trying to teach and people coming there trying me. And I would just be going back and forth with them. And it would just be crazy in there. It would just be a lot going on. Okay? But eventually, I had to sit with myself and be like, why do you allow these people to get to you? Why is it that you can't just continue on with whatever you're saying and just block them and just not respond and just whatever? I had to figure that shit out. And once I was able to figure out the triggers that were being tapped on every time I had that type of experience, once I was able to fix that trigger and start to work on that trigger, that shit no longer bother me. And of course, it's a process, so it's not going to happen overnight, right? It took me a couple months to finally be like, okay, I'm cool. But now people come in here and say all type of shit in my comments, block. It's almost like I don't see it. I see it enough to block it, and then I can keep going. A year ago, 2 years ago, especially 3 years ago, baby, I would have been having a whole party cussing a motherfucker out on here with a smile on my face, just deviant. Now it's like it don't even faze me at all. And y'all be saying, it's to the point that I be telling y'all not to go back and forth with people in the comments. And focus and tighten up. Whereas before, I was the one that y'all had to tell, all right, Poca, come on, because you know they're going to take the live. It was so bad, we had to have a code word so that they can reel me back in from going to fuck off. They had to put code words in the goddamn comments so I could chill the fuck out before they reported a damn live. And then now it's 7 days and I can't say shit on here because I'm suspended. You know? So when you work on the triggers, this is why, again, going back to that shadow work video that I did on YouTube, go watch it. We went over triggers. Triggers are such a huge part of shadow work because you can heal whatever you think you need to heal and work on whatever traumas you think you need to work on. But the moment somebody push that particular little button, all that I'm healed shit go out the window. All that what you worked on and all the journaling entries that you did and all the shadow work prompts and all that shit, non-existent. It don't even matter no more. It don't even matter no more. You right back where you was. Them triggers ain't no joke. So figure out, and everybody in your life, this is another thing that I had to really understand. Everybody in your life is a mirror of you. We create our own realities. So right now, you're living out a reality that you created. Every single person in your life right now is a manifestation of you. You manifested that person to be exactly who they are, how they are, the way that they show up in your life. From your friends, from your bosses, from your children, from your partners, from the strangers that you meet on the street. You consciously manifested those people, those situations, those scenarios. So, if you're having a certain experience with the boss, with the coworker, with a relationship, with your child, with yourself, right? It's all a reflection of you. And sometimes, or most of the times, the only way that we can see what we truly need to work on is for that thing to be in our face. So we'll manifest it and personify it. The thing that we need to work on will become a person. It'll show up as a person in your life and be right in your face, forcing you to look inward. But what we typically do is, instead of us looking inward, right? Instead of us saying, okay, this person is coming into my space to show me who I am, or to give me an opportunity to fix something or correct something or grow past something that I'm dealing with, or, to challenge me in a specific way to grow or to elevate or whatever. Instead of us seeing it as, okay, this is a reputation of something that I need to work on, we want to attack the person. We want to be like, oh, it's this person's fault. This person, they did it, and 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 it's them, and finger point, and finger point, and finger point, and finger point. You know what I'm saying? Finger point. It's that person's fault. No, it's something within you that manifested that person to you. We attract who we are, what we are, in every situation. No, getting fired because I won't have sex with my boss is not what I manifested. Okay. All right. I don't think you're looking at it from the right angle. I think you need to adjust your perspective on that one. Everything that comes into our life, we've manifested it in some type of way. Now, you don't have to accept that. It's your choice. It's your life. You know what I'm saying? I done manifested some ain't shit ass niggas. You think you can't manifest an ain't shit ass boss? If you can manifest an ain't shit ass relationship, why you can't manifest an ain't shit ass boss? I'm confused. I'm not saying nobody manifested sexual assault. Let's shift our perspective here. Let's look at something different, okay? I want y'all to really change your perspective. But when you are in a specific energy, there are opportunities, there are energies that are opened up to you. When you are mentally, when you are vulnerably, when you are energetically in a certain energy, there are things that open up to you. There are energies that are now free to roam. This is why when you start to change your perspective, when you start to change yourself, when you start to align differently, when you start to elevate yourself, there are certain things you no longer deal with. There are certain energies that you no longer encounter. When you start to heal certain things, right? Because a lot of y'all are walking around with the I've been traumatized sign on your forehead. Whether that was SA, whether that was any other type of assault, verbal, whatever. Whether it's just everybody keep playing with me, whatever it is, you wearing that sign loud and proud. You wearing that trauma loud and proud. It's like walking around with honey on your face talking about something. I don't know why bees keep chasing me. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. It's like walking around with shit on under your feet. Talking about, I don't know why these flies keep flying around me. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is why healing is important. This is why perspective is important. And it's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable conversation. So I don't expect for anybody to feel happy-go-lucky about a lot of the stuff that I'm saying. It's going to make you feel some type of way. As somebody who has gone through that, it's going to make you feel some type of way. But you will continue to attract the same types of situations and the same types of people, no matter where you are in life, whether you're at work, whether it's your personal relationships, whether it's your relationships with your family, whether it's the relationships with your kids, whether it's your encounters with strangers. They will be the same until you change. They will be the same until you heal certain things. They will be the same until you bring certain things to the light. It just is what it is. And you can either complain about it and try to make it seem like, you don't have nothing to do with it. Or you can look yourself in the damn mirror and be like, okay, what the fuck do I need to work out? What do I need to work on? What do I need to heal? What do I need to, straighten? What do I need to identify about myself or my past? What work needs to be done? Until you take that approach, nothing's going to change. It's going to continuously be whatever it was before. Again, this is why when you heal certain things, you don't deal with them anymore. When you finally understand your worth, you stop attracting people who try to play with you. When you finally stop procrastinating, you start to attract opportunities. When you finally get out your comfort zone, you stop attracting the same type of shit. There's a reason it works like that. Because you've eliminated the source of the problem. And you are the source. Your mentality is the source. The energy that you're carrying around is the source. And this is why we call it shadow work. Because it's not things that are easily seen. It's not things that you're wearing on your sleeve. Of course, you got to heal the things that are on the outside, right? Going back to the analogy I used before, sweeping it up. Of course, you got to collect the dust off the top first. But then you got to go in and you got to mop and you got to scrub that shit and get all the dirt. And that shit is a process. And your muscles going to be tired. And your knees might hurt a little bit because you done been down there scrubbing that goddamn floor. So it's not an easy process. Introspection is not easy. And you're here to master yourself. You're not here to be a victim. And again, take that from somebody who has experienced SA. So this is not me belittling the experience. But I had to realize as long as I remained a victim, and I was going to stay in a victim mentality, and I was going to continue to encounter predators. Because predators sniff out victims. That's why certain people, and this just is what it is, certain people are susceptible to partners who smack them around. Because their energy screams, you could do what you want to me. You could treat me however you want to treat me. And I'm going to be here. And that could be physically getting smacked around. That could be emotionally getting smacked around. Being played with. Being toyed with. A predator can sniff out its prey. Easy as hell. You never going to see a lion out here trying to take down a full-grown elephant. And if they do, they got a death wish. And it's not common. Because that's not his type of prey. It's not about to do that. That elephant will stump that little thing out. Quick. It ain't strong enough. It can't do it. The only way that would happen, that elephant either got to be weak as hell or it's a baby. So people know when you pray. They know when they can get over on you. They know when they can play with you. They know when they can manipulate you. Come on, stop it. People know when you go like that. They know when you're going. Yes, I do one-on-one sessions. You can book it on my website. The link is in the bio. People know when you pussy. They know when they can get over on you. They know when they can play in your face. I'm sure that there are people at your job, for the person who said that, I'm sure that there are people at your job that person has never tried that shit with. And that's why you got to ask yourself, what energy am I sending out? What is within my energy that's making people think that they can even play with me like that? I had to start asking myself shit like that over basic stuff. Like, why do people think they can come in my life and just play in my face? Because I keep attracting motherfuckers that want to play in my face. Why do people keep coming in my life feeling like they can manipulate me? Or they can lie to me? Or they can do this and do that? It's something that I'm putting out. And that's not an easy question or easy space to take yourself. Because again, we're feeling whatever that person is doing. So it's easy to point the finger and be like, it's their fault. But that person's only doing that because there's something about you that's making it easy for them to do it. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I've had boyfriends in the past that treated me a certain type of way, and then they got in a relationship and they ain't treat that woman like that. I had certain friends or, you know, people that I was cool with in the past do me a certain type of way, and then I look at how they treat other people and they don't treat them like that. My parents have treated me a certain type of way, and then I look at my brothers and I'm like, well, they don't treat them like that. What is it about me that's making y'all feel like it's okay to do this to me? There's something that I'm putting out. There's something that I'm giving. There's something going on with me and my energy that's making me look like the perfect victim. And once you figure that out and you nip that shit in the bud, everything has to change. People don't approach you like that no more. When I wasn't believing in myself, when I didn't really know my worth, when I wasn't validating myself, when I wasn't standing on my own 10, when I wasn't thinking of myself as highly as I should, people played in my face. And anytime I went back to that energy, people play in my face. To this day, if I was to go back into that energy, people would come play in my face. So it's a constant thing that you have to work on. It's a constant thing that you have to be aware of. That's why we say healing is a lifetime thing. It's not something that you just do over here and then you're just done. No, it's shit that you got to stay up on it. You got to stay with it. You got to keep continuously working on it. Because the minute that you go back to those old ways, the minute that you allow yourself to go back to that old energy, all the motherfucking mutts is waiting to come pick your ass up and play with you. Hello? Am I making sense? And again, it's not easy to hear. So I don't expect for nobody to have a smile on their face. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a daily thing. Confidence is a daily thing. Believing in your daily thing. Confidence is a daily thing. Believing in yourself, knowing yourself is a daily thing. Because once you leave the house, there's 17 million, gazillion, quadrillion, thousand things that's trying to tell you that you ain't shit. Trying to convince you that you ain't shit. There are people waiting. It's like dogs foaming at the mouth behind a gate watching you walk past. They just waiting for the opportunity to get on your ass. So you gotta constantly be putting yourself in the proper mentality, having the proper perspectives. It's a constant thing. It's not something that you just dip in and out of. And anytime you go back to lowering your value, not being as confident, not believing in yourself as much as you should, when you don't know yourself, when you're not working on yourself, anytime you drop that ball just a little bit, okay, and I mean just a teensy tiny bit, motherfuckers is waiting. They waiting. It's almost like they swoop in so goddamn fast. It happened so goddamn fast. You could tell they was waiting. It's like they salivating at the mouth to get your ass. So you got to stay on top of it. And it's a journey. It's not easy. So don't expect for it to be. Okay? Alright, y'all. I'm going to hop off because I need to cook. It's already 9 o'clock. This will be posted on YouTube. It'll probably be live of sometime in the afternoon. Yeah. We'll see. But it'll be posted on YouTube tomorrow, so definitely make sure that y'all go follow and subscribe on YouTube. Also, my website is linked in my bio. I do have one-on-one mentorships, one-on-one sessions, consultations, readings. I have books and literature on there that I've written to help you with your journey on a number of different things. So feel free to go check that out and see what resonates with you and book accordingly. If you do have any questions about any services, then definitely feel free to DM me and let me know. If there is a specific service that you want that you don't see, also feel free to DM me, or you can go to the contacts section on my website and fill out a contact form. So how do you pinpoint what it is? And when you do, you just act differently, right? No. You pinpoint it by doing the shadow work. Go to my YouTube and look at the shadow work live that I did. That'll walk you through the whole process of that. Okay? All right, y'all. Light and love. Tomorrow we'll tap in to do our reading for the week. So definitely make sure that you tune in for that. And I'll be live the rest of the week, probably except Friday, but we'll see. These last 2 weeks, I've really been resting. It was a reason why Spirit had that live suspended, because it got suspended literally for fucking nothing. But it was a reason. I needed to rest and rejuvenate my energy. So we back. Again, this will be posted on YouTube. Definitely check out the website, and I will see y'all tomorrow. All right, peace.